Chapter 4, The Mughal Rule or the Mughal Empire. India was a land of diverse cultures before India became independent. Way back in the 11th century or 12th century also, we have large diversions. So ruling a large subcontinent like India was really a difficult task or like next to impossible. This was made possible by the Mughal rulers. They gained the control over the entire Indian subcontinent and controlled it for more than 150 years and created a system of administration, imposed the political legacy which outlasted for many years even after their rule collapsed. Today, the Prime Minister of our country, India, addresses the nation on the eve of Independence Day or Republic Day from the forts which are built by the Mughal emperors. So in this chapter, we will be learning how did the Mughal rule start, how they were able to capture the entire political power into their hands, and who was the most famous rulers, what were the difficulties that they were faced, how did their rule come to end, what are the reasons for the decline of the Mughals, and what are the major constructions that they have made, how did they acquire place and created a new chapter in the history. So all these topics will be covered in our chapter, the Mughal Empire, chapter 4. So the Mughals created a great history. Till now, it was considered as next to impossible to capture the entire Indian subcontinent. But they made it possible and ruled it for more than 150 years. So who are these Mughals? That is the first fundamental question. Who were the Mughals? From where did they come from? Who were their ancestors? How did they have this capability to conquer the entire nation? So all these questions have a typical answer. First, the Mughals from their mother's side belong to a different tribe, while coming to the father's side, they belong to a different tribe. Coming to the mother's side, Mughals from their mother's side belong to the world famous conqueror of China and the Mongolian regions, that is Genghis Khan. He was a Mongolian ruler who belongs to a Mongolian tribe. He conquered a very vast region during his period, and he or his name is associated with a great massacre of killing huge number of people during his wars or the other reasons. So most of the times Mughals disassociated themselves with their mother's lineage. They were not happy to say proudly that they belong to the ancestral line of Genghis Khan. They never acknowledged this. They always tried to take their father's side. Then who was their father's lineage side? On the father's side, we have Timur, who passed away in 1404 AD, who was the ruler of Iran and Iraq and the modern day Turkey regions. So they always tried to associate themselves to their father's side. And one more reason why they are very much proud to claim themselves as they belong to the Timur's ancestors or Timur's successors, because in 1398 itself he conquered Delhi. So they are continuing the legacy of Timur's conquest in India. Like that, they tried to establish themselves. But in actual reference of the historians, they belong to both the groups, that is for the father's side and the mother's side. As they are not willing to explore themselves and highlight themselves from their mother's point of view, they prefer to take only their father's lineage. So Mughals basically belongs to two different groups. From the mother's side, they belongs to the Mongolian tribe who conquered China and the other parts of Mongolia, who is one of the first famous rulers, Genghis Khan, who passed away in 1227. Before he passed away, he created a history by occupying a very large part of land. And coming to his father's side, Mughal's father's time comes from Timur, who passed away in 1404 AD, and he was the ruler of Iran, Iraq and the modern day Turkey region. One of the most important reasons what historians felt Like, why did these Mughals claim largely to be the father said and declared more about their father rather than their mother? That is because his father conquered Delhi in 1398 AD itself. So they tried to inform to the people that they belong to the father said who captured Delhi way back in 1398 itself. So they are trying to attack and conquer or establish their rule in 1526. So they want to claim that they were not new to this land, and they always try to have a portraiture or photo group where they used to have the picture of Timur and themselves, whoever may be the ruler. So Timur would be the main picture of the middle, succeeded by his sons or grandsons. Like this, most of the times Mughals used to claim themselves as they are the successors of Timur, who conquered Delhi in 1398 AD. Mughal empires, or the first Mughal conquest, the military conquest which established the rule of Mughals in our country, was started by Babur. Who is Babur? Babur came to India or captured power in India in 1526 AD. What made Babur to reach to India? From where does he belong originally to? He belongs originally to the region of Fargana, where he is succeeding his father's kingdom in 1494 AD. He was just 12 years old when he captured this one, or when he took over this, the legacy of his father's kingdom. But due to the invasions of the Uzbeks, he was forced to leave the place. In order to save himself, he started to move wandering from there to various places. Finally, he reached Kabul in 1504 and captured Kabul. And later, after 22 years, he reached to Delhi and finally attacked the Sultan of Delhi, that is Ibrahim Lodi, in the first battle of Panipat in 1526. There he defeated Ibrahim Lodi and captured Delhi into his hands. So the very next year, at the battle of Kanwa, he defeated the rulers, and the entire Delhi and Agra came into his control. So like this, Babur established his control over the region of Delhi. So Babur was not basically belonging to our country. He was a ruler of Fargana in 1494 AD, who was 12 years old and who is succeeding his father's kingdom. So he was a successor of his father who took over the kingdom. But due to the invasions of the Uzbeks, who are invading the kingdom always, that is one of the reasons why the Mughals never claimed themselves to be the Mongolian tribe people who are opposed to the lineage or linkage with Uzbeks. Uzbeks are also one of the tribal communities of the Mongolian groups. So they have rivalry between their own groups. So they never want to themselves to be declared as they are the tribal group successors. So in 1504, he is able to capture Kabul, and he reached to Delhi in 1526, defeated the ruler of Delhi in 1526 as the first battle of Panipat, and finally captured Delhi. What are the major events or the major wars led by the Mughal rulers, and how did it bring changes in the ruling and the administration of the kingdom? Let's find out. Major campaigns and events, or major military conquests, or major incidents which happened from the establishment of the Mughal rule till they declined. First, Babur. We all know Babur was the first one to establish the Mughal dynasty rule in our country. So Babur occupied Delhi in 1526. So what happened in 1526? In 1526, Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi. Later, in 1527, Babur defeated Rana Sanga at the Battle of Kanwa and conquered the region of Kanwa. And in 1528, Babur is able to defeat the Rajput at Chanderi and got control over Agra. With this, Babur became the first ruler to establish the Timur successors rule in our country, or the Mughal dynasty rule. So Babur is able to conquer the regions of Delhi and Agra before he died in 1528. So with this, the rule of the Mughals got established in our country. Later, succeeded the kingdom of Babur, or who succeeded kingdom or the successor of Babur was Humayun. Humayun has to face many difficulties. Humayun was really unfortunate because he ruled for a very limited period of time. He has to face many revolts against him. The thing is, he came to power from 1530 to 1540. After the Battle of Agra, Babur ruled for 2 years and then he passed away in 1530. So from 1530 to 1540, Humayun was the ruler. Humayun, as per the will of his father, divided the entire kingdom equally to his brothers. So all his brothers, he divided the kingdom equally. Among him, one of his ambitious brothers, Mirza Kamran, made him weak against the Afghans and the other rulers. So he was defeated in 1539 as Sher Shah, a normal person who is a manager of a small kingdom far in the east in Bihar, who started his career in such a way. He came to a very high position. He is able to defeat Humayun in 1539 at the Battle of Chausa and in 1540 the Battle of Kannauj. So with this, the control over Delhi went off into the hands of Sher Khan. So now Sher Khan established the Sur dynasty rule. So with this, Humayun was forced to save his life. He fled away from there to Iran, where he took shelter with his close friend Safavid Shah, who was the ruler of Iran or Persia. So with his support, he is able to come back and fight and recapture Delhi in 1555. But the unfortunate thing is, in the very next year, in 1556, he died in an accident where he was walking from the library to his chamber. He fell down, he fell ill, and from then he passed away. So the rule of Babur was succeeded by Humayun. Humayun could not consolidate the entire kingdom or expand the horizons of the kingdom of Babur. Humayun was just able to control, divide the kingdom as per the will and the wish of Babur, and succeeded in dividing the kingdom successfully. But his ambitious brother, that is Mirza Kamran, revolted against him, made him weak. So looking at this revolt, Sher Khan, who was very far away from his kingdom in Bihar, who belongs to a very small kingdom, who was in charge of a small region, attacked the Mughal emperor, defeated him in 2 battles, the Battle of Chausia and the Battle of Kannauj, and finally took over the control of the entire kingdom and forced him to flee to Iran. So he took shelter with his friend Safavid Shah, and with the help of him, in 1555, he came back, attacked Sher Khan, defeated him, and recaptured Delhi. But the unfortunate thing is, in the very next year, he passed away. So who succeeded the great Mughal legacy rule after Humayun? How did he consolidate it? What are the techniques that he followed? Let's find out. Akbar. After Humayun, who succeeded the Mughal legacy was Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. So Akbar was a title given to Akbar by the people. His original was Jalaluddin Muhammad. So he acquired the title for the goodness or the services what he did for the people. So coming to understand, how did Akbar get such a huge people support? Akbar was 13 years old in 1556 when he took over the power from his father. He was forced to take over the chair of kingship. Because his father passed away, there is no one left out, so he has to take over. So at the age of 13, he became the emperor. So from 15, the entire Akbar's rule can be divided broadly into 3 periods. The first one, from 1556 to 1570, this was the first phase where Akbar's decisions are not truly Akbar's. Akbar was under the regiment of Bairam Khan and his domestic staff, who used to take care of him, and every decision was forced to take by Akbar with the advice of Bairam Khan and his domestic staff. The second period, it was from 1570 to 1585, where Akbar started to act independently. And the third one, there is a later period, that is from 1585 to 1605, where Akbar reached to the golden phase of his rule, and where he also took certain insults where his own son revolted against him. So how did these all happen? First, from 1556 to 1570, it was a period of 14 years where completely Akbar was not Akbar's period. Akbar ruled only on the advice of Bairam Khan, or truly on the name of Akbar, Bairam Khan ruled or conquered many places. So it was Bairam Khan and his domestic staff who made Akbar to be seated on the chair of kingship, but run everything whatever is required on the name of Akbar. It is, he attacked the Suris, then the Sisodias of Chittor, the capital of Chittor. They occupied the Ranthambore. Then the Afghans were attacked. The kingdoms of Malwa and Gondwana were attacked. They suppressed the revolt of Mirza Hakim, who was his half brother. So all these successes made Akbar's name very popular. At the same time, Akbar became independent from his regent Bairam Khan and his domestic staff from 1570 to 1585 onwards. So Akbar started to take every decision independently from 1570. So he attacked Bihar, Bengal and Orissa and annexed all these places to his kingdom. Well, at the same time, it was a revolt. This became complicated because it was a revolt raised by Mirza Hakim, who was his half brother. He always had this revolt from his half brother. It was ended in 1585 when they finally attacked Kandahar and took away Kandahar from Safavids. Safavid was a friend of Humayun, who supported Humayun at the tough times. But Akbar did not have any considerations. He conquered Kandahar, he recaptured Kashmir. At the same time, Hakim passed away. So death of Hakim also added to him. And in the final years, Akbar was a little bit upset with rebelling of his future king or the prince Salim, who revolted against Akbar. So it was this period where the Mughal rule became consolidated. The horizons of the kingdom reached to its peaks, where from the west to the east in the Bengal and down the line till the Deccan regions. So from Kandahar to Deccan in the south and from Gujarat to Bengal in the east, almost all places are touched and brought under the Akbar's rule. It was a huge period. It was a period of nearly 50 years where Akbar exercised his control over the vast empire. It truly apt to say he is an emperor. So he controlled the kingdom from 1556 to 1605. He attacked many kingdoms, he occupied many kingdoms, he annexed many kingdoms. Finally, he supported all those who are ready to accept the Mughals' authority. Like this, Akbar controlled the first ruler to expand the horizons of the Mughal rule in the entire Indian subcontinent.
If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel to get more videos on CBSE syllabus.